Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In this tutorial I'm gonna teach you everything I know about Firebase. And if you didn't heard about Firebase, it's a very successful platform from Google that integrates almost everything you know to get the most out of your apps: push notification, real-time database, storage, crash reporting, and much more, analytics, AdMob, AdWords. Okay, so if we take a look quickly at the interest over time, you see that Firebase is trending a lot, and right now it's the most popular platform for mobile applications that contains all these features. We will concentrate in this tutorial on real-time database, but we're gonna say a few words about crash reporting and other stuff that you can do with it. So in order to get going, let's first create an empty Android project with nothing on it except a menu. So I have here a blank application with just a menu containing settings, and what we can integrate first is the crash reporting, which is very simple to integrate. But before we do this, I want you to do the following things. First of all, go to firebase.google.com/docs/android/setup, and you should reach this place. Add Firebase to your Android project. Okay, so there's it. First, before you add a Firebase to your project, you need to create a project in the Firebase console. And what is a Firebase console? It's a sort of web management. It looks something like this, and inside it you have access to lots of interesting stuff: your databases, your analytics. You have to wait 24 hours for them to appear here. You have your crash reporting. For example, let's check the crash reporting for one of the applications that I did for testing, and everything is in one place, which is pretty cool. Okay, so this is the Firebase console. So first we have to create a new project for it. Okay, so go to the docs, and you see create a Firebase project in your Firebase console. I'm gonna go to console firebase.google.com, or just click that link, and here you click create new project, and I'm gonna call it Firebase another test. You can call it whatever you want. Choose a region which is close to you. I'm gonna choose I don't know, let's say Romania. I'm gonna just create project. So you should come to a screen something like this, and let's click add Firebase to your Android application, and voila, we're presented with a screen, and we have to put our package name first. So our package name, I'm just gonna copy paste it from the application that I just did. And now it's asking also optional for this debugging signing certificate. You're gonna need this one to be filled if you want Google sign-in support, invites, dynamic links, and let's say sooner or later you want Google sign-in support if you want. So here is an easy way to do it. In Android Studio, click on Gradle and expand the app task, and then the Android, and click on signing report, and right click on it and click run signing report. And it should appear something like this, and you can toggle text view with this button here, and from here you can just copy the SSH1 of your debugging certificate and paste it here. Click add up, and it will automatically push you to download the Google Services JSON, and this one you have to copy in the app. So I'm gonna copy it into the application folder. I'm gonna go to project files, app, and paste it here. Okay, let's go back to Android. So this Google JSON file is inside the application. Okay. Alright. Now I'm gonna switch back to app so I don't build it again. And this one looks something like this. Okay, let's close it. Now that we copy, let's click continue, and it says to add some dependencies. So first I'm gonna add this Google services in the project level build grader file, which is this one. I'm gonna put it just below the build grader tools, and in the app level build grader, add to the bottom of the file this one, and I'm gonna go here and add at the bottom this one, and click sync. Click finish. And now let's go ahead, and the easiest thing you can do every time you start a new app, let's integrate the crash reporting library. So for the crash reporting, click on crash, click on install SDK, and it tells us you have to add this dependency Firebase crash in the app build grader file. So I'm gonna just put it here, and that's pretty much everything you need to know. It also tells you about some program file, but you can worry about them when you start to publish your application. You can create custom logs, and you can create some fake crashes. I don't use them, but if you have like a very big project and you feel that you're lost in crashes, or you want to log something before some certain action occurs, you can put it here. So let's create a crash. So I made a very silly crash. I initialized a string with null, and I printed its size +1. So it will say cannot add to null value or something like this. The application crashed, and when I will go to the console after some time, I should see my crash here. Well, that was pretty easy. Practically you just have to add one line of code and Google takes care of absolutely everything for you. Pretty cool. So let's move ahead to database. So for the database, what first we need to do is set up some rules, because at the moment if you click on database and you click on the rules tab here, you see that the authentication can be null. So if you click here on learn more on security quick start, if like long story short, first let's start with public, and then you can move to user and private. So what you have to do is to go to security rules, get started, and copy this JSON here and put it here under rules. or you can type it manually. After that you go publish. So it says anyone can read or write to your database. This means, but no one knows about your database and your test, so don't worry about it. Anyway, now we made the database publicly accessible. So we have right now here it says null, we have nothing in it. So let's go ahead and write something on it. It is good to keep this tab open with the docs, and let's go on Android and get started. And it says you have to add a dependency. So let's go ahead and add this. And I like to comment on database. Click on sync. Now let's go into our main application. First, what we need to do is get a reference to the database. So how we do it? We just write like this: database Firebase database get instance. Let's create a field, and also we need a reference to an object, and I'll explain it later. And here let's put for now message. We'll see just in a bit, in a little bit what it does. So this database reference, we will set a value of hello world. So only with these 3 lines of code, we need an instance of the database, we need a reference to, and inside here we have to pass a sort of key, let's say, and with this reference you can set a value. Now if we run this application, it will start it, and if we go to our console, we'll say we have a key value pair message with hello world. Let's modify this with hello world 2, and let's rerun the application, and you see immediately here it updates this key value pair with what we have here. Like, this is a basic writing of files. Normally we won't use it because we want to store more complex objects inside it, not just simple ones, but from time to time it's nice, like you can store like this usernames and other stuff. Now how to read from it? We have this reference, which it's a sort of pointer to the message type, and you can do like this: database reference, add-on value event listener, and inside here let's put a new control space and create a sort of a listener that will listen to on data change. On data cancel doesn't interest you because you won't have so many errors. So with listener, let's log it, and you can log it easily with data snapshot to string. Let's run it. I think it ran already. Okay, and let's go to the console. Here you can edit it again. I changed it hello from Sofia, and as you can see, this message got triggered, and for this key we have this value hello from Sofia. Like, this is a basic reading and writing. Let's do a little exercise now and create a edit text dialog where the user can enter a username and store it in the database. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and create an edit dialog here in settings. So let's go ahead and change this one to action. Change username. And because I don't want to and I don't remember what I did, I'm gonna go to the GitHub page, and inside the app main activity, I'm just gonna copy all this alert dialog, which is an alert dialog with an edit text, and paste it inside here. Let's import everything that we need. Let's go. I will go step by step with what happens inside here. Okay, so what I have here, I have first let me show you how it looks. I have a simple dialog box with an edit text inside it, and here it says, do you want to change your username? In the moment I click save, this username gets stored in the shared preference under username, and I have a variable username that I keep it here. So basically everything is pretty simple. You should understand by now how this alert dialog works. I mean, you are looking into database tutorial right now, so you should understand it. So what we do with this username, we want to save it. And how to do this? We have our database reference, but we don't want to let's delete this part just not to trouble us anymore. So right now I'm gonna get a reference, database, but without passing any parameter here. It will be a general reference to the database because I don't want to link it to a certain object. So with this reference, what is happening here? Let me delete this one. I'm adding a child called users, and you can think about users and children like tables. So what you have here, message, it will be appearing here a child, and inside this table I'm gonna put a child with a value. Let's put for now my user ID. Okay. So what happens with this? It might be a little bit confusing with this child, but it's just a JSON structure. So I need to click save for this stuff to happen, and you see this users appeared here, which is a child of this database, and inside it has another child with my user ID. So because I want to store my username associated with my user ID, I need to put here a unique ID, and it has to be unique for every user that I will use this application. Okay, because if I leave it like this and I distribute it up to many users, everybody will have set their username to this ID, and we don't want this one. So the simplest way to do it is by using settings secure Android ID, and this one should be good enough to generate a unique Android ID for our usages. So be careful, the setting is here, Android provider settings. Okay, settings secure get string get content provider, comma settings secure Android ID. In the GitHub I have another method, like I have here written a small class that handles this user ID by creating a random UID, but I find that it's not necessary. Of course you can use your own implementation for it. Okay, so right now we notice that in the console we have this secure ID, which is my ID of the phone, and another one that I will just delete it now because I don't need it. So now if I will start another emulator, I will get a different secure ID, and they will be saved under these users, because I'm saying here I want it to be saved in this table, let's say users, under these users, which is a direct child of the database, and this child has this key and this value. Okay, so it's pretty easy how to set up username and like simple writes. Now we want to read it, so it will be easy to do like this. And child, we have to access this child first. Now I'm just copy paste this one, and with this child I'm gonna add a value event listener, and get the username like this. Username equals data snapshot get value, and inside here we can pass a class also type of object that we have, and we have it as a string. Okay, so let's log it. And it will get triggered at the very first. So the username is done. If I change it to team, see it automatically gets changed to team here. So this is how we set the user name. And now let's go ahead and see how we can work with more complex data, and this will be on the second tutorial.